Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, here to share with you our latest segment. Today, I want to show you how to do a fun and creative arrangement to hang using the fabulous amaryllis. These are long-lasting blossoms that can be somewhat intimidating with their large stems. They're almost like a tree trunk. They're so big and heavy. And many times we're afraid to even begin designing, thinking, how do I work with these? But they're so fabulous. They're incredibly long-lasting. I'll show you how to work with them. The base of my design is going to be some wonderful grapevine. Now this was a gift to me from graduate Holly. She actually has grapevines out in her yard, and this summer she brought me some fresh grapes that were oh so fabulous. And then just the other day she showed up with the vines that she had pruned back so that she can bring me grapes next year, maybe. Hint, hint, hint. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do with these? And I'm going to start by kind of tying them together, and you can see I bound them at this point. I'm going to bound them in a couple more places just to make sure that they don't come undone. I'm going to use bind wire and just lash the groupings together. It doesn't have to be real tight, but enough that it doesn't come apart. And then clip it down. I think I'll do it in 4 spots just to be safe, because there's lots of loose ends, which are kind of fun, but I don't want them popping loose and then poking somebody in the eyeball as they walk past the wreath. I just keep wrapping. And I like all of those loose ends extending, so I'm not going to try to tuck them in tightly. Instead, I'm just going to try to contain them a little bit by wrapping them in 4 points. Create my own grapevine wreath. You may have noticed the frame behind me. I love this frame. It's just an old window frame that I often use as a piece of art. So I hang this in the house instead of a picture sometimes and fill it with different things. And I thought, how perfect to fill it with my grapevine wreath. To hang the wreath in, I'm just going to use a bit of ribbon. And that way I can just take and tie it directly to the frame, centering it, and then knotting it. And I'll worry about a bow later. Right now I just want to get it secured, and I'm going to go back and repeat it on the bottom because I want it to hang very tight. I don't want it to be swinging back and forth. So taking one more piece, I've got this little piece here that's going to poke me, so I'm going to take it and push it up so that I quit running into it. And then bringing it down and tying it to the frame at the bottom. So now it's secured. And again, I'm going to leave the bows till later. Right now I'm just looking to get it secured in place. Now you may be wondering, what does the frame have to do with the amaryllis? Well, I'm going to take the amaryllis and I'm going to actually hang them upside down on the wreath and frame. And you think, why would you do that? The reason is that they can hang upside down and they'll bloom out absolutely beautifully. They make these big trumpets of bright orangey red because their stems are hollow. There's nothing here. So I can actually pour water down in the stem. And it won't leak out because it's solid up here. So I can pour water down in, hang them, and then just keep adding water every couple of days as they bloom out, and they'll last a week or more, hanging upside down, looking fabulous. To begin with, you want to judge how long you want your stems to be. So you have to remember you've got to be able to reach to add water. I'm going to cut off a little bit on this one. Just slice down. What a great way to take out your aggressions. Then take it and lash it directly to the wreath. Bring it around and twist. And then repeat that a second time. Bring it all the way around. And this time I'm going to the back and twist it again. So you get a nice tight twist. And then lastly, just bring it right back around to the front and pull it snug, and this will be the one that holds it all together. By having it do a crisscross like that, you can be sure it's not going to slide out. And then if you didn't get it quite tight enough, you can just go back to the back and capture it and give it another little twist back here where it doesn't even show, and that tightens it down even more. It's almost like doing a little screw in the back. That way you've got double security, front and back. Then I take another one and I determine where I want to cut it. And as you can see, I've already cut it to fit. And then, again, just taking a little more of the bind wire and lashing it directly to the wreath, bringing it around to the front, giving it a twist, taking it around to the back, creating that X, giving it another twist, and then one last run all the way around to the front, this time making sure that it's nice and snug, giving it a twist. Then if you need to tighten it, go back to the back, find your end, give it a little twist back here, and then cut the excess off. You don't need all this extra bind wire. Then you're ready to decorate. To cover my bind wire, just take a small piece of ribbon. Don't need a whole lot. And I'm just going to tie it around and tie it in the back. So as I just want the solid ribbon in the front. I don't really want you to see the knot. I want to cover my mechanics. And I just tie it off. Making sure that the ends tuck up behind so that they don't show. Do that same thing on this one. That one I left a little long, so it's even more than I can tuck and hide. I'm going to reach in and cut. Then I can tuck it and hide it so that it doesn't show. Then adding a little bit of a bow. Start by dovetailing the end and then just figure eight back and forth. And once again, dovetail the end. And then using just a tiny, tiny bit of bind wire, I can hold it together. And then take it to the top and tie it in with those extra little loops that I left up here. Knot it again. Dovetail those ends. And then fluff it out. Ends can go up or down. You just want lots of ribbon, giving a little bit of fluff. Bring one down like that, and then one over here. And then repeat that. Do the same thing on the bottom, just making another bow. Small bit of bind wire. Dovetail the ends. And then just knot it into place with those extra pieces. Dovetail again. I always like to finish it off with a dovetail. I think it looks so much richer. Get rid of my extra bind wire, then fluff it out so that the bow shows nicely. I can add tails or not. I'm going to leave the tails short because that way it draws attention just to the amaryllis hanging there. Now all I need to do is add water. And the biggest problem with this whole project is that you never know how much water you really need. So before I even begin, I'm putting a towel on the floor because I know that I am going to overfill and there's going to be water everywhere in the studio. So be prepared and then go ahead and just start filling. Well, there's enough. You can see the water running down. And that's the way I always do it. I suppose if I got on a ladder and looked in, I could know when it's full, but it's kind of fun just to let the water go. Let's see, we'll make another waterfall over here. Well, it doesn't help if I miss the stem. There we go. Now it's full. So if you're doing this at home, make sure there's nothing important underneath because as you can see, it's a wet process. But isn't it fun? And now as these open, it's going to be so elegant. For more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions or comments, don't hesitate to contact us. You can call at 1-800-819-8089 or feel free to email using my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. For now, happy holidays to all of you. Hope you have a fabulous season. Have fun and do something you love.